Assalamu alaikum everyone, I hope you're doing well. So today with a new video, it's about modal verbs. When I say modal auxiliary verbs, they are simply used in sentences like this. I could run 5 miles when I was a child. I shouldn't have come. I would visit you if I had time. These are modal verbs. So don't panic if you don't understand too much about modal verbs. I'm going to make them easier and to facilitate your understanding. Stay tuned, watch the video till the end, and consider to subscribe to my channel. Modal auxiliary verbs are very special verbs in English that add an extra meaning to the main verb. Modal verbs هم أفعال مساعدة تضفي معنى إضافي على الجملة لما نتحدث عن for example I go jogging every day. So this one is a very simple sentence. بإضافة modal verb like for example should غتولي معنى ديال الجملة متغير. I should go jogging every day. First of all, I have to tell you something very important. Modal verbs are different from other main verbs. In terms of what? In terms of the S. They don't take S in simple present like other verbs when we speak about he, she, it. We never say I can, you can, he cans. We never say I should, you should, he shoulds, she shoulds. Never. Modal verbs do not need an auxiliary to ask a question. You know, when I say speak English, it's not a correct question accurately. But if I want to say, do you speak English? We need an auxiliary, as you see here. We need an auxiliary. Do you speak English? To ask a simple question, we normally add an auxiliary at the beginning in the present or in the past or even in present perfect. Do you speak English? Did you meet your father in the mall? Have you ever gone to France? These are all questions beginning with auxiliary verbs. But when it comes to modal verbs, in a sentence or in a question, we don't need an auxiliary verb because we can say, can you join me? Will you come tomorrow to my party? We can ask questions by inversion. They are simply easy. Will you come with me? Will you come with me? Here it is the inversion. We inverse the two verbs and the auxiliary verb with the subject. Then it makes the interrogative form. One more point is the what? Never say I can to go. I can go. Never say I should to visit. I should visit. Never say I can speak. I can speak. I can speak English, I can speak French, etc. I hope these 3 points are very clear vividly for you. Bear in mind that modal verbs also can express tenses, which means that we use modal verbs in past and we use modal verbs in present or future. We're going to speak about the first function, which is possibility. Possibility, expressing possibility هي الإمكانية, la possibility. So if I say possibility, we've got could, may, might. Could, may, might to express possibility, but followed by bare infinitive. Bare infinitive is simply infinitive without to. For example, he could be at home now. It's very possible. He may be at home now. Or he might be at home now. We use also may or might plus have plus past participle to express possibility in the past. للتعبير عن الإمكانية في الماضي we use may or might plus have plus past participle. So for example, I may have seen the film or I might have seen the film but I'm not sure. If I'm not mistaken, I may have seen the film. We also use could plus have plus past participle to express that something was very possible in the past but didn't eventually happen. For example, take a look at this picture. You were lucky you could have been hurt. No injury, so eventually something didn't happen. To express no possibility or lack of possibility, we can use may not or might not plus infinitive without to talk about lack of possibility in the present. For example, we may not go to the party tonight. I'm speaking about the near future or the present. We may not, or we might not go to the party tonight. Next one is making deduction. What is deduction? Deduction هو الاستنتاج أو لا الوصول إلى النتائج. Let me give you an example of deduction. Ali is one of my best students. He is really a hard-working student. One day he was absent and missed one of my classes. When I ask student, they say exactly we are not sure. We don't know. We didn't talk to him. And I said he must be sick or tired. We use must plus bare infinitive to express a positive deduction about the present or the future. For example, my parents must be at home now. This is a deduction because they have nowhere to go and because of lockdown and curfew. We use can't plus bare infinitive to express negative deduction about the present or future. For example, if I'm telling you, look, you know what? This is my last video. And one of my friends or colleagues say, you can't be serious. Means he can't believe this because I'm just joking. I'm just kidding. You can't be serious. This is negative deduction. Deduction واستنتاج وعنده تقاطع مع اليقين تعبير على certainty. If you are certain or sure about something, we can say it's the same like deduction. Now, in order to make deduction about the past, we use must plus have plus past participle again. And here we can say, I must have left my wallet. So, for example, I went shopping and I've got my wallet. Then I remembered and I say, I must have left my wallet at home. The verb is to leave. ترك يعني تركت محفظة نقودي في البيت. But here is making deduction. لازم نكون خليته في الدار. This is what it means. Next, now how to make negative deduction in the past. It's simply with modal verb can't or couldn't plus have plus past participle to express negative deduction in the past. For example, you can say you couldn't have met their parents because they live in the US. They live in America. So you can't have met their parents. Now expressing obligation. Expressing obligation هي التعبير عن الإلزامية أو للإجبار ضرورة. When I say obligation كنت مضطر. Number one is must. We use must plus infinitive without to express personal obligation. I must pray on time. This is a personal obligation. This is a moral obligation, a religious obligation. No one obliges me to do so. I must respect my parents. I must finish this by tonight. I'm making a video right now and I must finish this by tonight. This is a personal obligation. Number two is to express external obligation in the present. When I say external means someone obliged me to do so. If I say, hey boss, tonight? Okay. So here I have to finish this by tonight. Then because I'm talking to the boss, I have to finish this by tonight means have to expressing external obligation because the boss ordered me to finish this by tonight. This is the difference between must and have to. Have to plus bare infinitive. You have to drive on the left when you are in England. This is external obligation obliged by law. Next, to express obligation or necessity الإلزامية in the present or in the future, we use need to plus infinitive. I need to know how many people will be at the party tonight. I need to know. This is necessity in the future or in the present. Talking about prohibition. When I say prohibition, means you are not allowed, no permission. We use mustn't, negative form of must, or can't or cannot full form cannot, short form can't. Plus bare infinitive. For example, you mustn't park here, or you can't park here. Means you are not allowed to. You don't have the permission to do so. Next, expressing absence of necessity, lack of necessity. We use for necessity need to, but for lack of necessity we use don't have to, or don't need to, or needn't. For example, you don't have to call me again. Next, number 2, she doesn't need to send her CV again. We already had her CV and other document. But how about necessity and lack of necessity in the past? We can say we use didn't have plus to plus bare infinitive. For example, I didn't have to pick up the kids from school. I didn't in the past. Don't say I don't, because you are speaking about past. I didn't have to pick up the kids from school. I have spoken about many functions of modal auxiliary verbs. Now let's change the trend. We're going to speak about some modal verbs per se. لنتحدث الآن حول مجموعة من modal verbs بأنفسهم. For example, should or shouldn't. We use should or shouldn't plus infinitive to ask someone or to give someone a piece of advice. For example, what should I do? What should I do is asking for advice. You should go on a diet. This is the advice to give someone if he is fat or overweight. We use should or shouldn't plus bare infinitive to express an opinion or to make a suggestion. For example, you should go to the new restaurant. It's very fantastic. I'm here expressing my point of view. It's very fantastic for me, but not necessary for you. For should or shouldn't again, plus have plus past participle is to express regret. Very important. Pay attention to the day of the exam. من بعد الفراغ مباشرة إذا كان عندنا لو فيرب في البارتيسيب باسي فأكيد الاختيار اللي غنختار خصو يكون مرفوق ب have. Should have or must have or could have, because should have plus past participle expresses regret in the past. Speaking about should plus have plus past participle again is to express not only regret but also criticism about somebody's behavior. For example, you say, you should have called me and let me know you weren't coming. Would rather is to express preference. For example, you can say, I'd rather go to cinema. I'd rather choose black. If you are shopping and you are confused, you don't know exactly which one to choose, whether blue or black, say I'd rather choose black. I'd rather. Next, we use would rather plus have plus past participle to express preference in the past. We can say I'd rather have gone shopping than sightseeing. كان بودي نختار تسوق بدل تجول. Next modal verb is had better. Had better or the better short form. We use had better plus bare infinitive to give strong advice. If you have a very close relationship with someone and you would like to advise him or her, you would say, you'd better ask a doctor about it. You'd better. It is stronger than ought to and should. Had better for advice is stronger than ought to and should. These are all the modal verbs we have. And now let's move to some practice.